Hi, my name is Donny Lowy, the CEO of CloseoutExplosion.com, a New York closeout business. Today I'd like to discuss with you wholesale clothing tips for flea market vendors. I'd like to offer some ideas on how you can take your flea market business to the next level. As you know, flea markets are actually a main shopping source for many people who either are priced out of more traditional retail outlets such as department stores, or they're people who just know that flea markets are a good destination for great bargains. But even though customers are going to flea markets because they cannot afford higher priced items at other stores or because they're looking for bargains, it does not mean that you should ignore some tried and true principles that work at flea markets. For example, my first tip is when you set up your flea market booth, make sure that you have different price points, and those price points should be divided throughout your booth. For example, if you're going to sell socks without a brand, you might be selling those socks, for example, for $3 or $4 for a package of 6 pairs of socks, and let's say that's your low priced item, have that on your right side of your booth, along with some other lower priced items. In the middle of your booth, have some of your mid-priced items. Maybe you'll have a polo shirt for $8 or $9. And on your left side of your booth, you might want to have some of your more high-priced items, such as knapsacks, suitcases, or luggage. The idea is that you don't want a customer to come to your booth and right away see that there's a mixture that it'll either confuse them, or if they happen to notice only a high-priced item, they might make the assumption that all of your items are equally priced high, and then they're just not going to buy anything. So when you see a customer look at your items and they say, oh, this is a little expensive, before they walk away, you could direct them to the section of your booth or to the table at your flea market where you have your mid or your lower priced items. Or the reverse might take place. A customer might come to your booth and might not be looking for socks, but they might actually be looking for a great bargain on a higher priced item. My next flea market sales tip is to always just prominently display the tags and the labels of the items you're selling, especially if they are brand name. Many customers might not be able to distinguish a pair of jeans that is branded from a non-branded one, but once they see a brand name and they are sure that it's authentic, they'll be willing to spend more money to it. And if they pass your booth and see a sign that clearly announces that you do sell brand names and even further announces which brand names you sell, that's going to help to draw in customers and to help them realize that your merchandise is of a higher caliber than the merchandise carried by other vendors at the flea market. And that actually brings me to my next point, which is actually another tip. With all of the different types of merchandise that is out there, customers are going to question the authenticity of the brand name items which you carry. Number one, when you do sell brand name merchandise, I always recommend that you bring a receipt with you from where you bought the merchandise, whether it's an invoice from a wholesaler or if you bought it at a very large sale at a department store and now you're selling that merchandise at your flea market, then have receipts from the brand. The reason that this is important is because if the police come and they want to question you and want to know if your merchandise is authentic or not, you want to be able to show them that it is authentic. And secondly, if a customer comes to you, I understand you're not going to show the customer where you bought the merchandise because you don't want to give away your source, but you want to be able to, with confidence, to explain to them from without naming the actual place, but from where did the merchandise come from? Was it department store overstock? Did you get it from an outlet that was having a special sale? Or maybe it's from some items that you had at home which you're no longer selling. But by clearly expressing to the customer the source of the brand name merchandise, you will be putting them at ease by explaining to them that the merchandise is genuine. And second of all, you'll make your merchandise more appealing because the customer will know that it's real. And customers are willing to spend more money on brand name merchandise, especially when they know that it is real. My next sales tip, which is also very important, which is definitely connected to what we've just discussed, is not to price your merchandise too low. I know this seems counterintuitive because people assume that the lower your price your merchandise is, the more you'll be able to sell. But the issue with that is if your merchandise is priced too low, people will once again question the authenticity of the merchandise and the quality. So if you are selling a $50 pair of Steve Madden shoes, you should offer them at a discount, but I would not go below a 75% discount. Because if you sell those shoes for $15 or $25, you're still offering the customer a discount, which is lower than what you would pay at a department store. But if, for example, you bought those shoes at a closeout and you only paid $10 a pair or $12 a pair, don't get tempted to sell them at a dollar above what you paid. You might have even gotten it for a lower price. Maybe you bought dresses as a closeout and you only paid $2 or $3 or $4 for those dresses because you're not branded. Or maybe you bought brand name dresses for $15 or $20. But if you sell them for too low below the original retail price, people will wonder, how can you be selling it at such a low price? So instead, offer the customers a substantial savings, but still keep the price high enough where they'll realize that the merchandise is genuine and it's of high quality. And remember, a lot of times people buy not based on the price, but based on their desire for the item. So if a flea market shop arrives at your booth and they're interested in the handbag by BCBG, which has an original retail of $120, if they really like the color and the style, so they're going to buy it, not based on the price, but based on the affordability of the item. So you can discuss, you can negotiate, you can start the price at $80, you could start the price at $60. And if you see that the customer really just cannot afford to pay more than $40 or $50, as long as you make money, you could still sell it to them at that price. But if you start out offering that handbag at $40 or $50, the customer is going to be very skeptical of why the price is so low. I hope these tips helped you. Please visit my website. It's closeoutexplosion.com. You will see a link in the description to this video right below this video for the website. Thank you and have a really good day.